With niri, it's really common to hold down the mod key and then press another key to do some action. Maybe this is to scroll to the right, move a window to a different workspace, launch an application. You get the idea. But every once in a while, maybe you need to execute some combination of keys with only one hand. For example, the mod key, super key, Windows key, etc. Try right now just hitting the L key at the same time. Now, that's not too crazy. My hand kind of looks like this trying to do it, where my pinky finger is on the mod key, and then my thumb or even index finger, like this, can actually reach as well, hitting the L key to scroll to the right. But trying to do something like hitting the right arrow key at the same time on a normal size keyboard, for me, that's physically impossible with one hand. And you might be wondering, well, just use two hands because you have two of them. But every once in a while, something might happen unexpected like this. Hey, Boomer here. How can I help you? Oh, you need me to get that ticket number? Yep, 1 second. Hold on. And this is where the problem is, right? You pick up your phone like this, now you only have one hand. And, I can do something like Mod Alt F here, and that's going to launch my file manager. Then I can use my left hand, use my mouse here, find the file, maybe click into it, and then I can read off the, information to them. I don't know why I'm holding the phone to my ear, because I'm literally talking to the camera now, not to anybody on the phone. But you get the idea. Maybe you're on the call now, and now you need to maybe log into the company's website and maybe do something different. And now suddenly it's like, how do you scroll left, right? With one hand really easily. Again, you can maybe reach over to the H key. That's no problem, right? Using mod there. But again, sometimes your brain just wants to do what it wants to do. Maybe your brain is like, you know what? I'm so wired to use the arrow keys. I can't do that. Hold on. What do I do? So in this case, what I've done is I just remapped the menu key on my keyboard to act as a second mod key. So now going back to Boomer mode enabled here, I can just hold down that key and use my arrow keys very easily to scroll to my heart's content here with just my left hand. Super easy. And in this video, let's go and take a look at how we can wire this up with niri, and we're not going to even need any external dependencies at all. So if you take a look here at the niri config file here, this is for the .fried rice project. Then down here, we have input keyboard XKB for some interesting options. So in this case here, I swapped my caps lock and escape. That's what we see here on the left. And then separated by a comma, we have another remap happening, which is the focus of this video here, where we are remapping the menu key to act as another super/mod key, and that's what we see over here. So in this case, Alt-Win, that is going to be the mod key here, and then Menu-Win would be that menu key. So the menu key on the keyboard, it really depends on the keyboard model. For me, it is right next to the Alt on the right-hand side. It kind of has 3 dashes with a rectangle around it. Almost looks like a hamburger icon, but maybe with an outline. So when I press that, that's going to be the mod key. It's not going to interfere with your original mod key on the left-hand side. So in the end, you basically get 2 mod keys. And, I've been using computers for a really long time, over 2 decades. Really, that menu key, I probably used it maybe twice in my life to do basically a right mouse click. So in this case here, I'm completely happy remapping that to something else. But if you don't want to use that key, maybe you want to remap it to a different key, maybe you like the menu key, yeah, you can just change this to be whatever key that you'd like. So in niri's documentation here, they kind of mention that you can use a tool like WEV to kind of get the symbol for a key here. This is not always going to work, unfortunately. For example, if I open up a terminal here, run Wev here, take a look at it, you can see all sorts of different outputs happening here behind the scenes. If I were to go and hit that menu key here, you can see here that it identifies with a symbol of super_R, and that is not the key that we can bind here for XKB, so it is an incompatible name. However, every once in a while, or for quite a few keys, the name is going to be fine, so you can use this for this. But there is another way to get the different keys that you can actually use for this value here. So one of them is, in here, well, actually, let me clear my screen, a little bit easier to read. So on a Linux system here, user share x11, XKB rules, evdev.list. If we run this and we're going to grep out Alt-Win in this case here, we can see a whole bunch of different key names that we can use here. For example, this I found here is the exact remapping that we're using here. It says, hey, look at this, menu is going to be mapped to the Windows key. Maybe you want to have, something else set up here. You can look at all sorts of different things. And again, You don't need to grep that. You can use bat or cat, and there's all sorts of different things here, along the lines. Not all of this are going to be valid keybinds. This file has all sorts of different things in here as well. But yeah, you can go and kind of skim through this, looking at some examples, looking at some things to do, which is pretty cool. So yeah, it's a really nice little list there to get you going in case you want to go and check it out and use something different. Yeah, with that said, quick video here, just playing around, looking at some things here, ways to configure niri to your liking. And, what's really interesting here is this is a really great example of being able to mold your operating system for you. Right here, it's like, sometimes your brain just works the way it wants to work. If you want to use the right mod key every once in a while, just because, ad hoc your brain was like, hey, that's the most efficient choice for me to use, Now you can actually do that, and you don't have to worry about making compromises or just having something not work. With that said, .fried rice is available on GitHub. You can go and check it out there if you want to install all these things, or check out my niri config. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Do my best to answer all of them. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Really does help a lot. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.